what's going to happen today is I'm going to try and answer as many questions as you guys have. So the usual stuff about the local people, and that includes Time Bandit, of course, and both the VC questions. The stuff that I can't answer because I just don't know the answer, and I'm not going to be bullshitting you guys with the answers of stuff that I'm pulling out of my ass. I'm going to keep it as in written form, and I'm going to send it to Matt. Not sure how fast he can reply. I'm guessing probably not today, but I'm hoping by tomorrow or worst case scenario Thursday we'll get the replies, and I'll make them public like we did before on the first AMAs when there was a lot of questions and we didn't have enough time to answer everyone, but we did want to get the replies back to you guys. Okay, I think we had enough time for everyone to join us. I know, Time Bandit, you want to come up? Let me just give my little intro of what's going on. So we've been running the arena now for 5 days. So far, no major issues. I know some of you guys have already reported about issues with iPhones. I haven't seen any issues with Android. I think there was like one person that mentioned it, but they didn't give me many details. So I'm not very informed of what's going on there. And that's why normally when you guys tell me, oh, something's not working, I ask you guys. Unfortunately, 50% of you guys don't reply back, so it's kind of hard to report it to the devs. I can't just go there and say, it's not working for this person. I did set up a new command both here on Discord and on Telegram, which is called noarena/noarena. It basically will lead you to a very simplified troubleshooting. And at the end, if it still hasn't solved your problem, there'll be a little form for you guys to fill in with all the information that the devs ask. I checked with devs; they pretty much that's the information they told me they need from anyone that has having those issues, and they can try it. They had tried the iPhones. I know someone asked me this. They had tried iPhones on the dev build, so they're not quite sure what's going on there. Whether if it's because something with Apple and the version they had was different. I do know from my side and from personal experience, what devs tend to do is obviously you can't have every single machine, every single build in the world in your hands when you're testing it. What you normally do is you use emulators. Sometimes the emulators aren't exactly as perfect as the machines are because, you know, one thing is an emulator of a machine that came straight out of the factory, like, well, copies of what the machine that came straight out of the factory. The other thing is the phone that's in your hands and it's been working for months and you install a couple of things. There's been updates of this and updates of that. And that's why we normally ask you guys on this form all the information, both the version of iOS you guys are running and also the version of the browser and a couple of more informations. And we actually been able to solve some individual issues, not the iPhone ones, based on this kind of information. Okay. You guys can hear me, right? Because there's also someone asking if I'm talking. Okay. Don't scare me. Okay. For a second, I kind of wondered if I'd forgotten to unmute myself or something. I thought it was weird after all this time. Okay. Beyond that, Zealy is starting today. My original plan is to start it in roughly 1 hour. So basically a bit after we start the AMA. I'll get to that question, no worries. This Zealy sprint will be a bit more generous than the other ones, but it will also last a bit longer. So it will last until, oh God, memory, until the 2nd of September, if I'm not mistaken, which is a Monday. So I normally try to finish the Zealys on Monday. So that way, if we need to do extra prizes, we always have to do extra prizes. We can do the raffle during the AMA. There will be 10 winners. The top person there will get a prize of, let me just make sure I'm not saying the wrong numbers, because I have this set up for a while now, and I'm an old guy. So the prize for the top first place is 1,500 MK. The top for the 10th place is 600 MK, and anyone in between is basically a difference of 100 MK from the previous position. So it's 1,500, 1,400. So at the end of the day, we're actually giving out 10,000 MK just on this competition. There shouldn't be, at least I try to make sure that most of the quests will allow you guys not to draw so much like what happened in the past. I do have like a bit more mechanisms now that allow me to avoid that. But if it happens, it'll be the same thing as before. We'll do a draw amongst the people that are, we'll do a raffle amongst the people that have a draw, and then distribute the prize according to that. As usual, I try to avoid that as much. I know it doesn't feel fair because you have the same points as someone else, and why are you getting a lower price? So that's one of the things I'm going to try and avoid in this one, even more than usual. Okay, on my end, I think that is it in terms of updates. I think it's time for Time Bandit time. Otherwise, he's going to explode because he already has his hand up for a while now. You can come on stage. Answering the question about Zeus while we wait for Time Bandit. I asked Matt because I was also finding it weird that Zeus wasn't joining us. He's on the audience. I have spoken with Zeus today as well. Due to personal reasons, he hasn't been joining us. We hope that he'll be back with us soon, as you probably noticed, because some of you also messaged me asking what's going on with Zeus. He's been very quiet lately. It's personal reasons. I honestly, I don't feel good to go and ask him what it is, right? I mean, if someone tells me personally, I stop there. But yeah, Zeus is still around. We haven't killed him. We haven't buried him in a grave somewhere in the desert. Okay. Time Bandit, how are you doing today, mate? We lost Time Bandit. Okay, while Time Bandit finds his microphone. I killed Time Bandit. Hope not. Okay, while Time Bandit tries and figure out what's going on with this microphone, I'm just going to start reading one of the questions. So the first question, and I'm going to read this by the order that you guys posted. As usual, I have roughly no idea what the questions are. I just occasionally look through it, but I don't go into the detail of trying to have a script to answer your questions. So, is the project and the development of MK secured, and goes on when something happens with the owner? In this case would be Matt and or with the team? The short answer is yes. The development is assured. I can tell you, like, for example, the basic stuff like the payment from the devs is fully automatic. It only has to be approved at each month. This came up in a private conversation with one of the devs, and I'm sure they're fine with me telling you guys this. So the funds are allocated for them. They just need to be approved by a person, and the person that does that is basically on the financial side, doesn't even have to do anything with the owners or at all. If something happens with the owner, so in this case Matt, everything's still secured. It's pretty much like a company. I mean, if the president of the company dies, the company doesn't just disappear. I mean, Matt has a family. There are other people that can take up his position if something happens to him. On wood. If someone from the team, like even if I get run over by a train or something like that, there is someone that can replace me. You guys know Ben. You guys know Will. Ben pretty much can take my position if need be. He was awesome when I had to have my week off, unfortunately. So yeah, there is never an issue of someone left. That's it. What might happen is things might slow down a little bit during that period, just for the person to adapt to their new position. But the project doesn't just go poof and that's it. Okay. Time Bandit, you still fighting over your microphone? Okay, guessing so. Next question. What is known about the possible updates of Season 2? Can these be shared? Backgrounds and iPhone version, such as examples. Okay, backgrounds. I saw someone had posted this on feedback today about whether there was a possibility of different backgrounds. The backgrounds do exist. They are even animated. The reason why we're all still seeing the same one is precisely it's one less thing at the moment to cause more issues, so loading different backgrounds every time. So for now, the devs are keeping it on the side. They are there. I know some of the backgrounds, for example, are being kept for special events. can't give you much more information on this part, but I know there are plans for special events. And like someone said, there are some backgrounds that we might have to do some adjustments in the battles. Like, for example, you can't exactly do a sand burial on the spaceship. I think that was the example that the person used on the feedback part. Yeah, someone even said every 5K battle is a special event. I can't tell you the numbers, but I know there are plans to do special events, whether if it's just time limited based on special events going on, like holidays and stuff like that, or if it's because, that weekend something happens, for example, not so much from this battle to that battle, because they from what I understood, they have to be activated manually, so it can't just be on that battle something happens. Someone has to be there.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you barely, Tom Bandit.
Barely. Okay, hold on. Let me work on that.
I can understand you. I think it's better now, because when you started, there was a bit of static. Okay, I think you're good now.
Now we're good.
Now we're good.
How you doing?
You won your battle against the microphone. I'm doing good. How are you?
If I can whip this laptop doesn't whip me, I'll be great.
It's one of those scenarios. One of us has to have internet issues every week. Yeah.
I know what happened. I cleared all my cache and everything to download the game, and I haven't been back on it except for the game, and so that's what happened to the microphone. It changed it all back to defaults.
Yeah. I did the same thing when the season 2 came up, and then wanting to log into every single little platform that we're connected to.
Yeah. But now I was going to tell you my son about the iPhone thing. My son has an iPhone 14 Plus, and later on today I'm gonna get him, and we're gonna see what we can do to get that thing to play. Because he's pretty much a whiz on iPhone stuff and all Apple crap. And you can tell I'm not an Apple fan, but if anybody can figure out what's wrong with it, he can. So we're going to do some experimenting and maybe have an answer for you later this evening.
My understanding from what I was told is it might be related with the size of the arena. So the first time you want to play it, it actually has to download animations and all that. And for some weird reason in the iPhones, that's creating some sort of infinite loop. So it's getting on trying to download something ad eternum. So that's what they're trying to figure out is what's causing that. So it's called a memory leak. The funny thing is, even I tried it on an emulator, and then when set to desktop mode, and that's what's one of the things that's on the troubleshooting guides, it worked on the emulator. But when I asked you guys to try it, you all told me no, it doesn't work on my side. So that's one of the funny things with the emulators. Even though they're supposed to be a perfect copy of what the machine is, it clearly is something that's always never as accurate as it is. Apple side. No, we have. By the way, I would like to point out this. Sorry, I'd like to point out this because you guys keep going, because the team doesn't support Apple. No, we have no problems with Apple. In fact, I'm running this from an Apple computer. I've had Apple computers for years now. It just happened to be with the iPhones. Something there is broken, and that's something that we want to try and fix as quickly as possible. And I'll keep you guys updated on that part.
I mean, I love the game. It's been running good on my desktop, my laptop, and my Android. It seems like it's getting smoother all the time. I don't know if that's just
they're doing small improvements on it, precisely to try and track down what's going on there, and trying to reduce the amount of downloadable content without removing quality from it, because that's what you reach a point where you can't remove too much, otherwise you remove the quality as well. Like, for example, I had someone today that had an Android 7, and they were telling me, yeah, it doesn't seem to run on mine. And I had to tell them that Android 7 is not even supported by Google Chrome anymore. I mean, it reaches a point where if even the browsers don't support the operating system.
An Android 7?
Android 7 as an operating system. So Android 7 is from 2016, if memory doesn't fail me. And even Google Chrome officially doesn't support it anymore. As much as we would like to support everything, it reaches a point that even we can't do that.
Right. Actually the computer, my home PC is a 2012 Gateway. it's a Core i3, but yeah, it's an old one, but it's got a bit video card and a upgraded memory RAM, so it runs it, but it's an old machine. I'm sure
Even old machines have their moments.
Yeah, I'm sure the graphics card helps.
Yeah, because so WebGL is basically on the graphic side. That's the demanding part. It's not so much the CPU side of it, and that's why we think that there might be something with the way that the iPhones are built that actually is causing the issue.
Okay. Well, let my son. I mean, seriously, he's pretty good at stuff like that. So he's 21. He's not a kid anymore. I'm old. I'm an old man.
I'm not
He tells
that
me
young
that
anymore.
all the time. He tells me that all the time, but he still won't jump me.
I was gonna say your kid is 21. I'm 21 in each leg, so
Yeah, well, I got you beat too.
I'm
Over half a century, man.
You're just wiser, Time Bandit.
Hmm?
You're just wiser than me. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I've been around more though. Got some. It's not the years so much as the mileage.
And it's been a pleasure because I already have the solid pots complaining that we're talking too much.
Okay, well I know. Well, this is the question that I know they're going to ask, so I'm going to ask it up here.
Ask away.
The marketing is starting correct today.
The marketing has already started, so that's one of the things I wanted to touch. I was actually surprised that was one of the first questions in the VC questions. So, as I mentioned to you guys several times, I am not fully into the marketing side. That we do have a team that handles that part. I do assist them in a very small part of it. Like for example, after this AMA, God knows when I'm going to be able to do that today, but we'll see. I actually have a meeting with a crypto website that does listings and all that, and they reached out to us with an offer for banners on their website, and we're going to work with them. Hopefully, still this week that will be activated to promote us. So I'm working with them on that side. So you might see like posts on our account referring other platforms. That's because of that. That's part of the agreement. Sometimes it's like they will post about us, we will post about them, we'll have a highlight on their website, stuff like that. I know also that Matt has been or has already reached out to different outlets with updated press release because he actually reached out to different sections, me included, to collect all the information as updated as possible, so he could write, the default article. Because as much as we'd like to think that all news outlets write their own articles, most of them just pick up whatever press release you supply to them, change one word or two, and call it a day, right? So that's what we pretty much did to many of them, is that we provided with the press release, and then they will publish it at their time. They told us they will do it. Normally, you get informed like one day before, or sometimes even on the same day. Unfortunately, that's the most annoying one, is when it's only on the day they tell you, oh, it's been published. Thank you. And when that happens, we will inform you guys and say, look, here's the article. If you can boost it a bit on your side as well, that would be nice. But yeah, the things have started. I do believe there are also, one of the things you guys have been asking about is the YouTubers. Those have been reached as well, but with season 2 just being relaunched now, they still have to play it a little bit, get some recording out of it, create their own video. So that takes a bit longer before it actually comes out into public. Short version is marketing has started, but with marketing starting doesn't mean immediately things get published. As much as we would love to do that like that, that's not how the real world works. And that's why I keep commenting with some of you guys so, for example, I wake up at 8 in the morning and I already have people asking me, where's the marketing? It would be great if it worked like that, but no, that's not how it works. It's not just a little button.
Well, and are you able to disclose or know, or even give us a ballpark what the budget for the marketing is?
Not really, but I can check with Matt. I meant to have a piece of there you go. I can check with Matt and see if he can give you guys a number, because in terms of budgeting and all that, I have no idea how much is going into the marketing. I know it's still a fair chunk, but obviously it's one of those things that you try as much as possible not to make it too big, because you still need the budget to carry on the project, like salaries and servers and all that. But that is definitely a mad question.
Yeah, well, it mainly was just the marketing, and Matt also had mentioned in an earlier AMA about the staking pool, that something was going to be redone with it, and that the staking percentage would go back up at that time. Do you remember what he was talking about?
I don't think that was the staking pool. I think that was the betting pool, if memory doesn't fail me. Which is basically the betting pool is. It was the staking as well.
Yeah, it was the staking.
I have honestly, I'll be completely honest. I have no idea what's going on there. I know the betting pool was going to be reinforced a bit, especially after the exploit, so it wouldn't run dry, because that wasn't exactly the plan there. And now we haven't changed the odds of winning. I know some of you have been insisting on that one, that we changed the odds. Now the house is winning to replenish that. No, the odds are still the same, 50-50. Nothing has changed there. The staking, I'll have to double check, because like I said, I honestly do not remember any mentions in the past of the staking, but I can check with Matt and get back to you guys as well.
Yeah, I see that.
If it happens, I'm guessing that's going to be like a season, or either a mid-season 2 thing or a full season 3. Because right now, in terms of the staking side and deposit and withdrawals, the only thing that's happening is basically doing these minor adjustments and minor corrections. Like, for example, one of the things I'm going to post today on the devlog is, before, you guys used to be able to stake, and everything that's unclaimed would automatically be claimed into the available tokens, right? But there was one interesting concept there, which was, because you couldn't claim less than 1 MK, if you did that and you had less than 1 MK to be claimed, that 0.01 MK would go into the, which is peanuts at the moment, but still didn't feel very honest when we realized that was happening. That was an unintentional mechanism there. So what the team did was we changed it, and now when you stake, even if you have less than 1 MK, it still goes immediately into your available tokens. And that's what someone the other day was actually found some weird exploit, because all of a sudden, every time they stake, stuff kept appearing on their available tokens, and it was a very small amount. Now it's not an exploit. It's actually the way we changed it. So you stake, doesn't matter how much you have to claim, whether if it's 10 MK or if it's 0.01, it always gets reflected, so you don't lose anything with the staking or at the moment.
Well, that's all I've got, man. Well, though, there's one more thing. The backgrounds on the game, are they going to be changing pretty soon? Because we were teased with the backgrounds.
Oh, the backgrounds.
The battle.
I think so. I mean, I've seen the backgrounds running on some videos from the dev build. So I'm assuming that the production build will have those backgrounds running soon as well. I will keep you guys posted. I actually made the note right now to check with the dev team if they can give me a date for that. Although,
we don't want a date.
Devs, I was gonna say, although having said that, devs and dates, But my guess, and this is my personal guess, so don't take this with a pinch of salt, is the next big update in terms of content will bring the new backgrounds as well. So the battles won't always happen in the same background we have.
All right, man. I'm gone. Y'all have a good one. Love your family and everybody. Just keep your heads up, because we're gonna make it. This is a good project. This is a good project. Proud of it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan Bandit.
See you later.
It's a pleasure to have you around. Okay. We have Alain, and I shall pull them up. But in the meantime, I shall go back to the VC questions and go for the next one.
Hello?
Hello, Alain. Let me just ask this next question, and then I can give you full attention. But your microphone's working fine.
No problem.
So
yeah.
this question
Okay.
is: how far are we with the team in posting the website? Posting in the website. There was in the website the white paper. I think we're not very far. Last time I heard about the white paper was from Matt, and he was pretty much just waiting to see now with the launch of season 2 if everything was stable, if everything was okay, and then from there plan things. Because obviously with the last interruption for weeks, and things kind of went down the drain in terms of plans that were made there. But I think the white paper should be coming. I don't want to say this week because he's out, but probably next week the white paper should be on the website. I will check with him and I'll give you a bit more detail on this question. Alain, how are you? It's been a long time since I got you here.
Yeah, buddy. Actually, it was problems with the microphone or some problems with the phone. But I think now that everything is okay. How are you doing, Hermes? Everything fine?
I am doing fine.
That's great, friend.
Returned, and I have returned. The arena has returned. We just have Matt now doing his kumbhayas around his fireplace somewhere.
Yeah,
but beyond that, all good.
Yeah, man. Okay. Actually, the question, it's because I'm kind of anxious, you know. So I was just talking to Luko, and actually, this is his idea. I just made some things, Martin. The idea, yes. Of course, that Martin has begun, and they are trying to fix the iPhone thing. But the idea that Loco had, and then I had an idea on top of that, is substituting the loading screen, which is like a killer thing, right, for a message in iOS. And the idea, and Luco had the idea of saying soon all devices, but we can put something like actually the message that I pinged you. Probably you're going to read that anyway, but I don't know. But the message while people are trying to access from iPhones would be something like that. I'm reading from VC questions like, hello, our iPhone browser application is under development. Go check our arena in your Mac, Windows, or any Android phone. You know, and because marketing wise, that would be very cool. And maybe even some whales would see that as a sign of transparency. They would not see the loading circle of death, and they would see that the price is cheap now. So imagine, for example, when iOS is available, and we have on our side that some apps are already it's common in the industry, right? So available only for iOS, only for Android. So that would not kill the thing, but a message would be much better than just the loading screen, right? So that's the original Luco's idea, and I do believe that this is easy to do. You know, I don't
It
know,
is
but
easy to
maybe.
do. Yeah, no, it's
Yep.
not something that takes too long, to be honest. Because the loading screen is just a preloader, so it's not even related to the. That's why some machines that can't run the arena still see the loading screen because it's a separate thing. And I see no issues with that. I'm actually planning on suggesting that to the team if it takes a bit longer for them to figure out what's going on. The only issue I see with that is some of you guys actually showed me pictures of what was going on with the arena, and the entire page wasn't loading at all. So it might not work with all. Yeah, but no, I see no problem with us doing with that. If it's an issue that takes too long to fix, then yes, we definitely have to put a message up there saying, unfortunately, at the moment we're having problems supporting the i stuff, because I know some of you are using iPads, not just iPhones. Exactly, Miko just confirmed that saying you can't play on the iPad. So that's easy. It's an easy thing to pop up, and it's easy to have a website that's dynamic and actually recognizes which device you're connected to. Most websites do avoid that because that's considered tracking, and some browsers don't like that too much, and they kind of block the entire website. And that's also one of the reasons why we've been trying to avoid it a little bit. But yeah, we can have it
yeah.
as a general message without checking which device you have, just in case.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I just don't know if it's a very good idea to run that on every device, like an Android. It wouldn't make a lot of sense. Maybe we should change the sentence a bit. But okay, so it is possible, yeah, to have only on iOS, yes. But that would be a problem with the tracking, yes,
Yes,
the guy.
because
So
basically
yeah,
yeah.
okay. There's a
And
tracking,
in
yeah.
fact, there was someone, I think it was actually Time Bandit that mentioned, the first time he tried to log in, he was giving him issues, and then he realized it was basically the computer that he has was, for some reason,
Yep.
thinking that our website was tracking stuff, which is kind of funny because we don't track anything. You connect to it and that's it.
Yeah.
But that was enough for the website not to load. But no, but definitely a good idea. And like I said, I want to mention it to the dev team.
Okay. Yeah.
Either today or tomorrow, depending on when I can speak with them.
Okay.
Today might be a bit tricky.
And buddy, actually, because even if it's not a good idea to put it only on iOS, maybe it would be better for marketing to have a message like, if you're using iOS, this might happen and etc. It's under development. Maybe this is even better. It's not even better. This is better than nothing, right? Maybe in all devices, something like that. A short message. Yes, in all devices. That's
better than
an
having
idea
anything.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And because the Android users and Windows users, they're gonna no problem. It's gonna load, right? Okay, friend. But another
And someone
question.
was even
The
suggesting now, saying even under the web page, under the enter the arena, the problem is was it Silver Fox? Silver Fox. The problem is most people actually go straight to the page. They don't even go via the website anymore. We discovered that when we changed the dashboard press. When people start telling us it's a scam because the page doesn't exist anymore, it's like, oh, God, no, it doesn't exist. Just change the address. That's all.
Okay, and man, regarding marketing, the marketing has already started, but probably you know exactly with what we are doing now. We're doing with Google. Do you know exactly what concretely is being done? Like at the moment, is it Google Ads? Is it something, or is it just something that is being done, but it's not live yet? This is the basic question.
Yeah, so like I said, so the main thing at the moment that we want to start populating the algorithm with, or they want to start populating the algorithm with the marketing side, is the news articles, because those get pick up. Because what happens, especially in the crypto world, is many newspapers or many news outlets, one of them publishes an article, and all the other ones just copy it. There are literally thousands of websites that the only thing they do is just scrape the other ones and copy the content and post it as if it was their own. And so we were aiming at the top ones, so the other ones didn't scrape it. And that actually starts feeding into the Google algorithm. And that's one of the things you guys saw. And obviously the other one is precisely the banners, the Google ads, everything and anything.
Yeah. But do you know if there's anything? It's okay if you don't know. There's no problem. But do you know if there's anything live now?
I don't believe so. I can, like I said, I can double check with Matt. I already have that as a note on my end as well.
No, you got it.
But I don't think there's anything live. Because Matt, what I asked Matt at the time was if there was anything live for him to let me know. The
links, yes.
Obviously Joe, and obviously Joe as well, because he takes care of the Twitter side, so we can actually show it to you guys. Say, look, this is live. If you can give it a little push, because it also helps with the algorithm if there's people interacting with these in any way.
Okay. Yeah, but guys, thank you. And but just to tell everybody that I work with marketing too, and obviously, it's a good thing that marketing, and because when people listen, marketing has started. It doesn't mean this is me telling everybody. It doesn't mean that everything is live, but like 95% of the job is not live, right? Being live is just publishing. So probably 95, 99% of the thing has already been done. And this is for everybody that's anxious about the marketing thing. Probably there's pretty much everything done. It's just hitting the publish because of, other issues. But probably
the boring part has been done.
Yeah, the boring part has been done. Exactly that. Okay, so it shouldn't take long. Maybe a week. Do you think, Hermes? I'm not asking for
I
a
think
date,
so.
but
Normally the timeline for
yeah,
this kind of things to go live tends to be a
like
week,
a week.
roughly. Yeah, there are
Yeah,
some which are a
I,
bit
I,
faster, like the one I mentioned at the beginning that I'm chatting with them today. Still, it should
that's great.
be
Yeah,
live rather quickly. There are the other people like some. Was it? I can't remember what it is. Basically, an NFT platform as well, and we were having conversations with them before. And then at some point they kind of ghosted us, which was really weird. Like they stopped replying to us. So
yeah,
I kind of poked them again this week to try and figure out what was going on.
yeah.
And I still haven't got a reply. So I might actually have to restart the entire process. I don't know whether if the person
Yeah,
that we were talking to got fired or something. I don't know. So, something definitely weird happened there.
yeah,
But yeah. And this is not
buddy.
exactly
Okay,
a small NFT platform. Let's put it that way. It's not
yeah,
OpenSea, but it's another big one.
yeah, buddy. Sorry for taking so long. But the last
Mhm.
thing that I wanted to say, Hermes, please tell Madman that he needs to be a little more, like a politician, because for example, man, the campaign story, man, it doesn't go well with the timing. You could have lied. It would be better, man. It would be better to
See,
lie
that's
in
the
this
thing.
case.
We're too honest. I could have told you guys, no,
Man,
no, no. Matt just was run over
yeah,
by a truck, so it can't be here. Yeah,
like it would
but I
be
mean, we
better,
decided. I mean,
man. Like
why do we lie? I mean,
his
the
daughter is
guy has
sick.
entitled to have a week with his
His
family,
daughter is
right? I
sick.
mean,
Not camping. That man. Really. Consider that, man. Talking to him like that, because probably he's the one who says no. Let's be honest, right? But man, he could have said no. My daughter is sick. It would be much better. My daughter is sick and Martin is running. Then we don't know about Martin, and I'm gonna go camping. Man, this is not a good idea to talk to
but
people
the
because
boring part on this side is done. So we just have to now. It's the waiting game. So he's literally just waiting there, waiting at home. It would be this. It's the same for
yeah.
him at this point. Because his side is already done. He already delivered everything he needed to deliver. He contacted everyone that needed to be contacted,
No, I know.
and now the
Yeah, yeah.
marketing
I
team
know that.
does that part. The rest of it.
No, for sure. I'm just talking from the point of view of like a exactly like a politician would do.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that you would go camping. But the
So
people sell because of that. It's just a tip. Yes.
between the two of us, because there's clearly no one else that's going to listen to this. My feeling, I didn't, again, personal stuff, so I don't go into too many
Okay.
details. My feeling is this was something that was already planned ahead, and in the
Yeah,
meantime, all
yeah,
the
yeah.
delays kind of screwed up every plan. And you can't exactly go to your kids and say, "Oh, sorry, kids, no camping today," because you know that he has to go and
Yeah,
work. Yeah.
yeah. But okay, I think you got the message. Guys, thank you so much, okay? And sorry for taking so long. Thank you, Hermes.
No problem. My pleasure, and thank you for your questions.
Bye bye, buddy.
Okay. I shall try and zip as fast as I can because I already know that we've been doing this for 40 minutes now, and we don't even have Matt today, but you guys kind of went crazy on questions. Question: Can you please get MK to put regular news feeds on Coin Market Cap? I have reached out already for the proper people because I actually saw this question when it came up. I was actually around at the time. They told me it should be possible, so I'll wait and see. I'm guessing like what we'll probably do is when we start having like the marketing things, the same way that I'll tell you guys, it'll be published there, and devlogs and stuff like that. But as soon as I have any information on that, I'll let you guys know. The marketing part we already talked about. Okay, now we have a bunch of questions from a certain person that asked me if they should post one by one. I told them no, it's fine. Okay, so website was supposed to get a new main picture with better responsive design with launch of S2. When is that going to happen? I think I'm going to use that horrible word that no one likes, which is soon. There's been like small improvements based on stuff that you guys have asked for. I've seen some talks about some of the updates on the design of the website, so I'm very confident on that part, which is a word that I don't use very much. That the website update for this more responsible design is going to happen soon. There's been like updates on different resolutions, for example. That was one of the things you guys mentioned. And there's still going to be other updates related with as the game and the project evolves. White paper page 4 and more is months old. When new information, so we already talked about this. This is a mad thing, so I'm guessing when he comes back, that is to come up, because he was literally waiting for the season 2 to be out, because no much point in you trying to update something when the product itself isn't out yet. Mobile optimizations are in active development. Yes. If so, when deployed, no idea. As fast as we can. So for folks that aren't aware of in terms of gaming, which is mainly my area, but technology in general does this. It's kind of easy for you to set up a date for preparing something, but it's really hard to set up a date for when you can fix something. Because sometimes a fix is something that takes 5 minutes. Sometimes a fix is something that takes 5 days, 10 days, because you can't figure out what's causing that general issue. You can sometimes find the reason for one device, but then that doesn't fix the other 20 that are having the same problem. Yeah. So that's why when you guys ask me, oh, is there a date for the fix? I can't give you dates, because I don't think even the devs can give you dates, and they're working on it. And then we have a work in progress, which was mentioned by Alan just now. Original staking pool runs out in 2 months. Is S2 restocking staking? I don't think it finishes in 2 months. I think that date might be incorrect, but I'll double check with Matt, like I mentioned. So I'll get back to you guys. There's the questions about marketing. Again, the questions about the background. Many great ideas in the feedback channel and the chats. Hoping the team is still listening to community. They are, or at least I am, because I am having the trouble of having to copy paste everything that you guys say, turn it sometimes into what I like to call dev language, so they can understand, and passing out to them. And some of them, the easy ones, they can implement immediately. The best example I can give you guys is the pressing the button when staking, and it was happening immediately, and now you have a confirmation. And that was something that was fairly easy to implement, and that came precisely from your feedback, because at the time when the team developed the entire dashboard, they never crossed their mind that someone accidentally might be staking when they didn't want it, which is kind of annoying, because you get stuck for 10 days. So yeah, the feedback that you guys provide, especially if you pop it into the feedback, is definitely going in the chats. I do try to catch everything, but sometimes things get lost. Especially if it happens like during my night, I try to go through the entire chat, but if it's like one idea amongst 100 other messages, it might get easily lost. And that's why sometimes I tell you guys, when I catch those ideas, post it on the feedback, because that way I don't lose it. And even if I need to have a reference point, I can point out to the devs saying, look, this is what people said. And if you pop it into the feedback, it also has another feature, which is other people can comment on it. And we get not just your feedback, but the feedback of other people. And sometimes ideas get developed even farther than the initial one. Are we still outsourcing systems that keep S2 running, or is it already in-house? As far as I know, it's all in-house at the moment. I mean, we can still get surprised with gas because, that works. But as far as I know, most of the systems we had, we were outsourcing, right now are being run in-house for several reasons. One of them is obviously the issues that we had with some of those subscriptions having issues randomly without telling us anything, and all of a sudden the arena would stop, and then we had to rush back and forth to try and get everything running again. The other one is also cost. It's at the end of the day, it ends up being cheaper for us to actually run things in-house than having to pay for the subscriptions, right? And we're not depending on the subscription prices, because most of these services also have like the normal subscription, and then you have the premium subscription, which they try to sell you, because if something goes wrong, they say, oh, you don't have the premium one, so you have to wait like a day for us to even look at what your problem is. So running everything in-house, the team knows what they're doing. If something goes wrong, they immediately know what's wrong, and they can fix it immediately. And the last question is, can the arena handle a large amount of players at the same time? Let's say 1,009. As far as I'm aware, and I checked this with the team, they said the 1000 number is actually something that they can handle fine. The servers are quite sturdy. No issues there. And that's also one of the reasons why we now have this loading screen. So that way no one is caught with their hands down and watching a battle that already finished and stuff like that. Sorry, my stop was because I'm trying to stay between two screens and I know you guys are pinging me. So what is going on there? The moment of what? I skip. Which one did I skip? Did we ever get an answer about those Meme Kombat cards in the white paper? I think that was an original idea that existed and it never got executed. And this is me being completely honest, because since I joined Meme Kombat, I've seen that image and that was pretty much it. I think that was like a concept idea someone had at some point and it never got developed. It might be picked up now with the integration of the NFTs. So let's see. But I can double check as well with Matt. Let me add that to my notes questions. MK cards. Okay. Question about Zeus. I already told you guys. And I know we're all missing the lightning and the positive wind that Zeus always brought. And I'm not sure if he's honest today, but if he is, buddy, we miss you. Hope we can be back as soon as possible. That is the template questions that I've just made. Who's handling the collaboration requests and how are those negotiations going? Most of the collaborations happen with the marketing team because it's much easier for them to also figure out which ones are worth it, which ones aren't. The more business side ones ends up being Matt, for obvious reasons, right? He has a better picture of what's better for the project at the end of the day. But like, for example, small stuff or smaller ones, like, for example, this website that I mentioned that's going to have the banners with for us and all that, he passed on that to me. The same thing with the NFT platform, because right now I'm handling more the NFT side, like checking every day if OpenSea, how many fake collections are there. And I thank very much the OpenSea team in case any of them are here at the moment, because they've been really friendly and really quick in taking down the fake collections as soon as I report them. I think I've somehow ended up in some fast lane as well at this point. But yeah, most of the stuff for the business side ends up being Matt. If it's more marketing related, that's the marketing team completely. And then some small stuff ends up being me, because of the way I interact with you guys, the way I also get reached out by these requests, because people come into Discord or come to Telegram and they ask to contact an admin, and I'm the one that's around, so they reach out to me, and so I tend to sort of filter most of them as well, because as you can expect, there are some which are absolute rubbish, if not pure scams. What else do we have? Question for the AMA. Beginning of season 2, the arena tokens were for the betting 10 million. Last week the arena tokens were 6.1. Today's arena tokens ? I haven't checked, but I can double check that for you guys and publish it later, because I don't have access directly to the numbers. Okay, arena tokens, but I can literally in a few hours, I'm expecting, because normally they don't reply to me immediately. I can ask one of the devs and they can tell, they have access to those numbers and they can tell me. Question about Zeus already asked. Although I'm going to read the joke anyway, because someone actually is Zeus still part of the project, or did they forget to pay the ChatGPT subscription? ChatGPT is not that as exciting as Zeus is. Come on, we all know that. Not enough fire emojis on ChatGPT. You should consider lowering the API. This is free tokens for people, and they are selling it, which is stupid because it decreases the value of their principal. I mean, it's kind of a double-sided sword. Let's put it that way. We could decrease the API, yeah, but at the same time, that would actually make the project less appealing. I mean, let's face it, most of you guys are still around because the API was one of the main reasons that attracted you. It's a very high API. I mean, even though it's going lower, it's still over 70%, which is stupidly high even for crypto these days, considering the project has been running for 8 months. And when did we start? No, we started in March, didn't we? We launched no, actually, to be honest, we actually started before that. We started in October. The API was already open there for the pre-sale. So yeah, it's almost been a month for the API side only. So yeah, I do understand where this question is coming, and there's always going to be people selling. But at the same time, I know that many of you use the staking rewards as your betting money. So yeah, it's a double-sided sword. That we should probably reduce it to avoid this, but at the same time, we don't want it because it also is a selling point. Honestly, you should really consider listing on a centralized exchange faster, because those transaction fees are impossible. I know that the Ethereum network has been improved, and I can tell you this much because yesterday when I was sending some of the NFTs, the gas fee was 1, which I think I never seen in my entire life, especially at those hours. We do want to go into the centralized exchanges, but as Matt mentioned, we do want to be careful at the same time to avoid having all the tokens stuck in the centralized exchange. And we also want to make sure that it's not one of those centralized exchanges that basically asks for the world and a bit more, and then the project ends up with no funds to do anything beyond the centralized exchange, and there's no content, there's nothing, so you end up in a dead spiral. So that's one of the things we want to avoid. So as it's again, double-sided sword. We want to do it faster, but we also to do it well. When can we expect the NFT integration? I'm not telling you dates. Come on, people. We all learned that lesson. What was mentioned in the last AMA, I'm not sure if you guys all heard it, is apparently the implementation was a bit faster than they expected. They expected it to take a bit longer, and that's why the news came out that the NFT integration might come a bit sooner than expected. But yeah, I'm not going to give you dates because even I don't know dates for that. I know it's happening, but it's one of those things that I don't even ask, because no point at this point to ask for dates or anything like that. And the last question on the VC questions, because we're almost at 1 hour mark. Many congratulations on a beautiful season 2 launch. Thank you very much. My question for today is about the marketing and the launch of MK on other decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges. A lot of the OGs are aware of the listings that have taken place on the backhand. Do they still require volume? And if so, how are we looking to manage that volume from just swap? From what I know, and hopefully Matt doesn't kill me for telling you guys this, most of the volume is expected to rise now with the marketing. So that's the whole point of the marketing, is precisely not so much for the game, because the game is there. It's not the marketing that's going to change that. The marketing is the main goal of the marketing is precisely to attract fresh blood, fresh eyes into the token, into the game, into the entire ecosystem, and that will create volume on its own. And as more volume is created, it attracts more people, because there's always day traders that will be checking there. More volume then is what's going to allow us to enter the centralized exchanges. Yep. But yeah, currently the price action of MK looks stagnant and slow. Yeah, that's precisely what we are trying to come out of. It's this flattened area that we are at the moment, and I know that many of you are waiting for it, and that's what we want to do. Longest AMA ever. Come on, it was 1 hour. You guys had lots of questions. Paul Luca is going to have a very long summary. Yes. Okay. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. In that case, I think I only need to do one thing, which is there is still one NFT to be given away, because we only launched on Thursday, and the last NFT that was assigned was for Tuesday, and I like to keep my promises. So, I missed you. What did I miss you, Bugs? Did I just read your question? Or do you want a hug? Is that it? I'm confused now. It's been 1 hour of me talking non-stop. You guys should be fed up with me by now. Okay, let's hope that this doesn't break my connection like it did last week. Okay, yeah, seems to be working on my recording at least. Okay, so like I said, this is the NFT for the Wednesday delay because we launched on Thursday, and the last NFT that was given out was for the Tuesday, so there was one still missing. So let's see who is the lucky last winner. I did add any new names that popped in. Dun, 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 dun. And the winner is CoinTracker97 on Twitter. So I'll have to ping Joe and ask him to make a post about this winner. Okay, cool. That was the last one. No more free NFTs, at least not for this campaign. Zealy, which I was supposed to launch in like 1 minute, is going to be launched a bit later, of course, because you guys need to give me at least a few minutes for me to turn on all the buttons over there. Thank you very much for your time. There are a couple of questions that I couldn't answer. I'll send them over to Matt, and I'll pop it in together with the community news as usual. I am still waiting for the numbers for the devlog. That's why I haven't published it today yet. But expect that's one of the things I forgot. So expect a bit reduction in the numbers, just because it's not a full week of betting. So it was like from middle of Thursday until Sunday, so that's not even a half week. So the numbers this week might be much lower than usual. Yeah, half one, probably even less than half, because not everyone was there when it started, and we have noticed that there's been less people betting this week because people have been out on holidays and stuff like that. Yeah, as soon as I get those numbers, I'll be able to publish that devlog. Okay, well, thank you very much for everyone. Thank you very much for your time, and speak to you guys in the chat.